Congratulations, you're 2 to 3 months postpartum from your C-section and finally starting to feel like yourself a little bit more and wanting to start working out to rehab those abdominal muscles. This is the video for you. My name is Dr. Brooke Kolisiak. I'm the owner of Legacy Physical Therapy, and I am a pelvic physical therapist who is passionate about helping postpartum moms, especially C-section moms, rehab their body after their delivery, because this is so important for our continued health all the way out through our future. It starts now by doing the work postpartum. Hopefully you've already watched some of the earlier videos in this series that talk about some of the beginner exercises and things you should be doing to help rehab your abdominal muscles. If not, I highly recommend going back to the videos here and checking out the earlier versions of these exercises to make sure that you are properly recruiting the abdominal muscles and working them in a good way that promotes this progression. Because the exercises we're going to be showing you in this video are definitely a little bit more advanced and complex, but I know you're going to have fun with them. So now that you're 2 to 3 months postpartum, we can start really challenging those abdominal muscles as long as you can feel like you maintain that tummy tightness and you're not holding your breath while you're doing the exercise. So our next exercise is a dead bug exercise. So as always, we're going to start with our core connection breath and get our abdominal muscles pulled in with our pelvic floor. And then we're going to get into that dead bug position where we have our knees up and our hands up. And we're going to let one leg straighten and the opposite arm go overhead, and then bring it back to neutral. And each time we straighten the leg and arm, we're going to exhale, inhale as it comes back in. Exhale, tighten, straighten the leg and arm out. Inhale, come back to the start position. Exhale as the leg and arm go out. The further out the leg and arm go, the harder it is. So again, you might have to go in a smaller range. Or if this feels too challenging and you can't keep that tummy contraction going, or you find yourself holding your breath, go ahead and hold on to one leg with the opposite hand and just do one side at a time, where we straighten the leg and arm out and back in. Exhale as we straighten the leg and arm out and come back in. This is just an easier version to start with if you're having trouble keeping the abdominal muscles pulled in, or you find yourself holding your breath to stabilize. Our next exercise is a side plank. So you're going to want to get laying on your side with your elbow directly underneath your shoulder. And again, we start with that core connection breath where we inhale, exhale, pull in our belly and our pelvic floor. And then you're going to push up through your elbow. So you raise your hip up off the ground and hold for a few seconds, and then come back down. Inhale as we come down, and we're going to exhale and push up through our elbow, hold for a few seconds, and then come back down. Good. Exhale, push up and hold, and come back down. As this gets easier, you might want to challenge it a little bit more by letting the top leg go out to a straight position. And we're going to do the same. Inhale, exhale, tighten and lift. But now we've got one leg straight, one leg bent, and then come back down. So holding for a couple seconds is good. You don't need to force it for a really long time. You want to be able to breathe and hold that tummy contraction, but trying to get maybe a set of 10 repetitions on each side is a good place to start. Your hands and knees is a great position to work the abdominal muscles against gravity. And one of our favorite exercises is the bird dog. So we're starting with that core connection breath where we're going to inhale, exhale, tighten the abdominal muscles, and then we're going to lift an alternating arm and leg and try and straighten them out, and then come back to our start position, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You want to try and work on keeping your back nice and still while you're doing it. I like to tell people to pretend they've got a hot cup of coffee on their back and they don't want that cup of coffee to move or spill. So we don't want to see a lot of rotation. If you feel yourself rotating in the trunk a lot while you're doing this, go in a smaller range. You might need to kind of keep your leg lower or your hand lower so that you can stay still through the back. And again, if you find yourself holding your breath or pushing your belly out to complete this, make it a little bit easier by going through a smaller range, or maybe only lifting a leg or only lifting an arm So if we go in level of easiness, arm lifts are the easiest, then leg lifts by themselves are the next easiest, and then the hardest level of a bird dog is doing both an arm and a leg, opposite arm and leg at the same time. So when you're working to do this, again, make sure that you can keep that core connection, tummy pull in, and you're breathing while you're doing it, and try and work up to 2 sets of 10 repetitions of the lift. Another good exercise to do on all fours is called a bear crawl, or a static bear crawl. In this situation, you're going to have your toes tucked under, your hands are underneath your shoulders. You're going to do that core connection breath to get your tummy muscles pulled in again. And then once you do, you're going to push through your hands and toes to lift your knees up from the table and hold for a few seconds. And then let it come back down. Let it all relax. Then we're going to re-engage with that core connection breath. Push through our toes and our hands to get our knees off the ground, and then come back down. So work up to holding it for anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds at a time. In the beginning, you might find that you have to just go up and down to make sure that you're still breathing and you're not pushing your tummy muscles out. But as you get better at this, you can hold it for a little longer and then come back down. As always, working up to doing maybe 2 sets of 10 repetitions of this exercise. Make sure that you're not feeling any strain in the neck or shoulders. It will work those muscles, but it shouldn't hurt to be using those muscles to do this. If your bear crawl is getting easier and you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can add a shoulder tap to it. So we do that core connect breath, we push up and we touch one hand to the opposite shoulder and go that back and forth and then come back down. So doing 1 or 2 taps at a time is a great place to start. And if that gets easier, which might take a while for it to get easier, you can try doing multiple taps in a row. So what did you think of these more advanced exercises to strengthen the abdominal muscles and core? I hope you found them challenging. As a recap, we went through the dead bug and a couple different variations that you could do for that exercise. We went through 2 different ways that you can do a side plank. Then we did the bird dog exercise and showed you ways that you could make that harder or easier. And then we finished up with that static bear crawl, either with or without the shoulder touch. All of these are awesome exercises to challenge your core muscles, as long as you can make sure that you've done that deep core connection breath ahead of the exercise and you're not holding your breath for the exercise and you're not pushing the belly out. If we hold the breath and push the belly out, that means that we're typically using pressure out to stabilize versus using the abdominal muscles well. Think of like a closed soda can. You can't crush a closed soda can because there's all this pressure out on the walls, which makes it very stable, but it doesn't let us strengthen the walls. So we want to make sure that we're strengthening our walls and not just using pressure to stabilize. So if you do find yourself holding your breath or pushing out on the abdominal wall to do these exercises, we need to back down to an easier level where you can do it without that, so that you are working the muscles appropriately and you can stepwise get them stronger and stronger. So this was the last of our video series on C-section recovery and core abdominal strengthening. We hope you found it helpful. Please share it out with friends and family members who could benefit from these C-section recovery videos as well, and check out our further videos in our YouTube library, and make sure that you like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching our video. We hope you found it informative. We put out weekly content on pelvic health topics because we want people to be able to optimize their pelvic health throughout their lifetime. Make sure you like and subscribe our channel so that you're alerted when our next video becomes available.